The quote, "It's far better to be roughly right than precisely wrong," has become a guiding principle for many investors and decision makers. Attributed to economist John Maynard Keynes, this phrase suggests that embracing uncertainty and accepting imperfect information can lead to better outcomes than clinging to false precision. Its enduring popularity stems from the unpredictable nature of markets, where exact forecasts often prove unreliable. Yet, beneath its reassuring surface lies a subtle enigma. Why do so many rely on this wisdom? And could there be a hidden risk in its widespread acceptance? As we explore the origins and implications of this quote, we begin to uncover a deeper trap that may challenge its comforting appeal. At first glance, the quote appears to provide a comforting sense of relief, almost granting permission to investors to disregard short-term market fluctuations. This reassurance can be appealing, especially during periods of volatility or uncertainty. However, it's important to question whether this popular interpretation truly serves investors' best interests. By encouraging a passive approach, the quote might inadvertently downplay the importance of due diligence and ongoing risk assessment. In some cases, this mindset could even lead to complacency, exposing investors to greater financial dangers. Ultimately, while the quote offers comfort, its underlying message may be more misleading than helpful if taken at face value. At the heart of financial discourse lies a quote that has sparked widespread debate and confusion. Some argue that its true meaning is often misunderstood, leading to fundamental errors in investment strategy. This raises a compelling question. Could the misinterpretation of this quote be the dividing line between amateur and professional capital allocators? The implications are significant, as a clear understanding may influence not only individual decisions, but also broader market outcomes. By examining how this quote is perceived, we can explore whether mastery of its message truly distinguishes seasoned professionals from those still learning the ropes. False precision refers to the misleading appearance of exactness in data or statements that are, in reality, uncertain or approximate. This concept is crucial to understand because it often leads us to place unwarranted confidence in numbers or details that do not truly reflect reality. The quote we are examining was crafted specifically to challenge this illusion, highlighting the dangers of relying on seemingly precise information. Before we can appreciate the value of being roughly right, it is essential to recognize how false precision can distort our judgment and decision-making. By acknowledging this subtle but pervasive issue, we prepare ourselves to better interpret information and make wiser choices. The phrase "roughly right" is often cited in investment circles as a guiding principle for decision-making. However, many investors misinterpret this concept, using it as a convenient excuse to avoid thorough analysis and critical thinking. Instead of striving for a reasonable approximation based on solid research, they settle for vague assumptions and incomplete information. This intellectual laziness can lead to poorly informed choices and increased risk. The original intent behind "roughly right" was to encourage pragmatic judgment when perfect precision isn't possible, not to justify carelessness. By conflating the two, investors may undermine their own success and overlook valuable opportunities for improvement. Throughout recent years, we've seen the popular myth at work in various investment trends. Many individuals have poured money into AI stocks or cryptocurrencies, often driven by hype rather than careful analysis. This speculative approach frequently relies on compelling stories or promises of revolutionary change, rather than a clear understanding of the underlying value. As a result, narrative becomes confused with actual valuation, leading investors to make decisions based on excitement rather than evidence. Such behavior can inflate prices and create bubbles, ultimately exposing participants to significant risk. By examining these examples, it becomes clear how easily enthusiasm can overshadow sound judgment in financial markets. There is a crucial distinction between making rough guesses and conducting a true valuation. Rough guesses often rely on intuition or incomplete information, while true valuation is grounded in thorough analysis and objective data. The myth that these two approaches are interchangeable can mislead investors, encouraging them to take risks that resemble gambling rather than informed decision-making. When respected figures use language that blurs this line, it can create a false sense of confidence. Investors may feel justified in their speculative actions, believing they are following sound advice. This confusion perpetuates risky behavior and undermines the importance of disciplined, evidence-based investing. False precision refers to the illusion of accuracy that arises when complex calculations or models present highly specific results, despite being based on uncertain or unreliable inputs. In the world of investing, this phenomenon often manifests through the actions of the precisely wrong investor. This type of investor, sometimes called a spreadsheet warrior, places heavy reliance on intricate financial models and detailed forecasts. However, these models are frequently constructed on assumptions that may not hold true in reality. As a result, the investor's confidence in the numbers can be misleading, leading to decisions that appear justified by data but are fundamentally flawed. Understanding the risks of false precision is crucial to making sound investment choices. Financial models often rely on a series of assumptions to predict future outcomes. Even minor adjustments to these assumptions, such as changing the expected rate of return or altering projected growth rates, can lead to dramatically different results. This sensitivity highlights the inherent uncertainty and the illusion of precision that financial forecasts may convey. While models can provide useful guidance, their outputs are only as reliable as the assumptions behind them. As a result, investors and analysts must remain cautious, recognizing that seemingly precise figures can mask significant risks and variability. Understanding this dynamic is crucial for making informed decisions in the face of financial uncertainty. The precisely wrong investor often relies heavily on detailed quantitative models, seeking exact figures and projections that may ultimately prove inaccurate. In contrast, the roughly right investor takes a different approach, emphasizing qualitative factors that offer deeper insight into a company's true potential. This investor asks foundational questions about the quality of the business, the integrity and capability of its management, and the sustainability of its competitive advantages. By focusing on the broader picture rather than getting lost in minutiae, the roughly right investor aims to make decisions that are directionally correct, even if not mathematically perfect. This mindset helps to avoid the pitfalls of false precision and encourages a more thoughtful, resilient investment strategy. The roughly right investor adopts a disciplined approach that prioritizes a margin of safety over exact numerical precision. Instead of relying solely on detailed forecasts or rigid price targets, this investor focuses on understanding the fundamentals of each opportunity through thorough research. By analyzing key factors such as business quality, competitive advantages, and long-term prospects, they aim to make informed decisions that account for uncertainty. The margin of safety acts as a buffer, protecting against unforeseen risks and market fluctuations. This method encourages flexibility and resilience, allowing the investor to navigate complex environments without being constrained by overly specific predictions. Ultimately, the roughly right philosophy values sound judgment and careful analysis as the foundation for successful investing. There are two distinct approaches to forming rough conclusions. The first is the lazy guess, which relies on assumptions and minimal effort, often leading to misconceptions and perpetuating myths. In contrast, the disciplined, evidence-based conclusion is grounded in careful analysis and factual support. This method not only provides more reliable answers, but also helps clarify context and dispel inaccuracies. By understanding and applying this distinction, we can effectively close the subloops of myth and context, ensuring that our interpretations are both meaningful and accurate. Ultimately, the quality of our conclusions depends on the rigor we bring to our reasoning process. Now comes the pivotal aha moment. Many amateur investors fall into an intellectual trap when they misuse popular quotes, often applying them out of context or as blanket advice. This tendency can lead to premature conclusions and incomplete analysis, as the quote becomes a shortcut rather than a tool for deeper understanding. Instead of thoroughly evaluating market conditions or company fundamentals, investors may rely solely on the perceived wisdom of a phrase. This approach can result in missed opportunities or unnecessary risks. Recognizing this pitfall is essential for developing a more nuanced and effective investment strategy. True roughly right investing is not about making quick guesses or relying on superficial judgments. Instead, it demands thorough research, critical thinking, and a willingness to dig deeper into the underlying factors that drive investment outcomes. While the pursuit of false precision may seem impressive, it often overlooks the complexities and uncertainties inherent in financial markets. Professionals recognize that embracing uncertainty and focusing on sound analysis leads to better decisions over time. This approach sets them apart from amateurs who may be tempted by the illusion of exactness but lack the discipline to engage in meaningful evaluation. Ultimately, the commitment to deeper analysis is what distinguishes successful investors from those who rely on shortcuts. By exploring the deeper meaning behind the quote, we find a direct connection to the channel's core philosophy of safety, peace of mind, and ease. Disciplined investing is not just about following a set of rules. It's about creating a foundation that supports long-term confidence. When investors prioritize safety and make decisions with care, they reduce unnecessary risks and uncertainty. This approach fosters peace of mind, allowing individuals to navigate financial markets without constant worry. Over time, the habit of disciplined investing leads to a sense of tranquility, as each decision is guided by thoughtful principles rather than fleeting emotions. Ultimately, this philosophy empowers investors to achieve their goals with greater assurance and ease. The disciplined investor relies on the principle of a margin of safety to protect their investments from unforeseen risks. By purchasing assets at prices below their intrinsic value, they create a buffer that helps safeguard against market volatility. Sound judgment is central to their approach, allowing them to make decisions based on careful analysis rather than emotion. This thoughtful process brings a sense of peace as the investor feels confident in their choices. Additionally, the disciplined investor is comfortable stepping away from the constant stream of market news, knowing that their strategy is built on solid foundations. This ability to tune out distractions leads to greater ease and clarity, enabling them to focus on long-term goals rather than short-term fluctuations. Being roughly right means relying on numbers not to pinpoint an exact value, but to define a broad range within which a decision remains sound. By demanding a deep discount, you create a buffer that protects against unforeseen mistakes or inaccuracies in your estimates. This approach acknowledges the inherent uncertainty in forecasting and helps safeguard your interests. The emphasis is on resilience, ensuring that even if errors occur, the outcome remains favorable. In practice, this strategy allows for flexibility and reduces the risk of significant losses. Ultimately, being roughly right is about prioritizing safety and adaptability over precision. As we wrap up this discussion, consider how you might apply these insights to your own investing journey. We invite you to share your personal investing rules in the comments, fostering a space where ideas and experiences can be exchanged. If there are quotes or principles you find particularly compelling, Let us know which ones you'd like to see analyzed in future episodes. By participating and sharing, you help strengthen the sense of community that drives this channel. Together, we can continue learning and growing as investors.